Hi, I'm Mark Small. This is Civil Discourse Now. It's Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. I'm in kind of informal garb here. It's Saturday. So I'm going to be watching football in a little while. I'm watching our tax dollars at work. I wanted to make sure I said something, though, and got this segment out today. And I do that for several reasons when I get it out today. One is that certainly when January 20th hits, if Trump is inaugurated and holds office, things like, people who disagree with the government podcasts and stuff will be a thing of the past. So I'll try to get some in when I can, because otherwise there won't be an opportunity after that so much. Also, when we're dealing with the Republican Party and the governor and lieutenant governor that won on November 5th, we're also dealing with a person on that ticket, Micah Beckwith, who's going to grab whatever power he can and shove people aside or have them just disappeared. And that's great concern. I mean, it should be, because Beckwith has lied consistently about constitutional history, and that's why I want to address this point today. He says that this was a country founded on the Bible, and he can't prove that because it wasn't. And that's quite simple. But here's what's really a problem. He says God talks to him. Now, Indiana is more prone to have people go, well, now he can talk to God. And you're thinking of like somebody confronting life's problems and praying or something. No, that's fine. That's not what Beckwith does. He says God talks to him, and it's about politics. January 7th, 2021, Beckwith says, God said, that was my hand at work yesterday. I sent those riots to Washington, D.C. And then Beckwith, in a campaign stop earlier this year, when he was going towards the convention to be nominated, kind of blew off that those were riots. Even though he said, well, God said that, but, they weren't really riots. It's like, okay, anybody who's a devout belief should be offended that he committed blasphemy. Second, because he's kind of making fun of God. He doesn't quote Jesus like in the same way. I think he kind of looks down on Jesus because Beckwith's real tight with God, you see? But let's go a little further. Beckwith will quote God when it serves his purpose. And down the road, count on it, Beckwith talks to God. Why wouldn't people say, well, Beckwith said God said that, so we better go along with it, especially since Beckwith and his buddies have really I said, basically far right membership of the Republican Party have done their best to gut public education. Now, that's bad, but watch for what happens further down the road. If you're Christian, you really are in jeopardy of losing your liberty or your ability to worship. When Beckwith was talking about how the people of the church have been really, Christians are really being good on standing up for rights, and Pentecostals and the Baptists, not I think he said Episcopalians, Presbyterians, or Lutherans. It's like 4 or 5 different groups within the Lutheran church. So to say Lutherans as a whole is kind of dismissive, but he's giving you an indication of what's going to come up down the road. You're either a real Christian, in other words, you follow him because God's talking to him, or you're not. We've seen in history what happens to people who don't agree with a theocratic governmental structure. We've seen what happened in Afghanistan when the Taliban were in there, and they are once again. And things can happen like that really fast. I don't believe Beckwith for a second that he talks to God. Of course, he's gutless, so he won't debate me. He challenged me, but that aside, people need to be aware that it's people like that Suddenly they're talking to God, and God's telling them to tell you that he's going to rule everything because Beckwith is with God. And to Beckwith, I say that. Peace. Have a good day.